This is the focus lesson for writing electron configurations. We're going to start by working through an example. Example 1. What is the electron configuration for chlorine? Let's start by taking a look at the energy level diagram that we drew for chlorine in the previous focus lesson. The electron configuration is just a shorthand of this energy level diagram. So let's begin. We start with the 1s, and using the notation, we take into account the 2 electrons as a superscript beside the s. And then we move on. 2s has 2 electrons, 2p. Now 2p, there are 3 suborbitals, but we only worry as p as the overall orbital. So we've got 2, 4, 6 electrons in total. And then 3s, we've got 2, and then in 3p, we have 5. So there is the electron configuration for chlorine. So let's go on to a second example. What is the electron configuration for neon? Whenever we're figuring out the electron configuration, we need to take a look at where it is in the periodic table, okay, and use the off-bowl diagram to figure out the correct order of those electrons. So neon is element number 10, so we have 10 electrons. So we will start our electron configuration with 1s, okay, and we know that the s can only fit 2 electrons. Okay. Then we move up to 2s, which also can only have 2 electrons, and then we go to 2p, and we saw that the p orbital could hold up to 6 electrons. So now if we count, we've got 6, 2, and 2, total of 10 electrons. So this is the electron configuration for neon. Our final example is to figure out the condensed electron configuration for chlorine. So if we take a look at chlorine, chlorine had 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Okay. And our notes mention that the condensed electron configuration takes into account the electron configuration of a noble gas. So when we take a look at where chlorine is in the periodic table, it's element number 17. Okay. So the noble gas that comes before chlorine is neon, which is number 10. And we saw that neon has an electron configuration of 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So notice that chlorine has the electron configuration of neon as part of its overall configuration. So what we're going to do is we're going to condense that by using a square bracket notation, saying, well, that's the same as neon, but chlorine also has the 3s2 and the 3p5. So the condensed form for chlorine will be the configuration for neon plus 3s2, 3p5. Okay. So here we have the electron configuration of the noble gas that comes before that element. Okay. We also call these electrons the inner electrons, and the ones that remain on the outside as our outer or valence electrons. So this then plays an important role when we start taking a look at chemical bonding. So now, if we continue through the module, you'll have a chance to try a couple of examples, check your answers, and then proceed onwards.